Hey everybody, it is Libby. I am back on the WootRecruit YouTube channel. What is WootRecruit? Well, we are the only recruiting process designed specifically for the cleaning and lawn care industry. If you're struggling with recruiting, we are your go-to source for strategies and tactics to help improve that attraction and retention when it comes to hiring. I'm super excited to introduce Kathy Merchant as a guest. Kathy, tell our listeners just a little bit about you.
Kathy Merchick. I own Calico Cleaning in South Haven, Michigan, right on Lake Michigan, and we are a very seasonal business with vacation rentals, and we could not do what we do without WootRecruit. So,
Oh, thank you. Kathy, I always start out asking everybody the same question, and it's like, what is the number one hiring mistake you have made?
my number one hiring mistake, you're not going to want to hear, Libby, because you will disagree with me. My number one hiring mistake I have made in the past is hiring family and friends. That has
Oh, no,
been
actually,
my
I don't disagree, and I do disagree.
Okay. I know you work with a lot of family and it's worked well for you, but I have worked with several family members and it has not worked well for me at all and has caused a lot of problems within my family. So I vow to never work with friends or family again. So I keep
Yeah,
personal and business completely separate.
that's great. I think that it's hard. So, Kathy, don't get me wrong, it epically sucked. Uh, Prior with my first relationship, he wasn't my husband, we could call him that. Um, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. But I think I learned a lot so that when I did it again, I knew how to do it and set expectations up front. And
Hmm.
believe me, it's hard. Like my mom organize it. And sometimes I have to tell her, like, hey, Lisa, I call her Lisa at work and mom like, hey, Lisa, you can't do that. Like,
Never worked
and
with my mom, but worked with my husband, and that was great. Like that was great. I just couldn't keep him busy enough. So, and he
yeah.
had other goals and aspirations besides building my goal and my dreams. So he went to do his thing. But I've worked with my daughter. Actually helped me start the company, and we started it together. Um, and it worked well for the first few years. And she was, obviously much younger than me and had these great ideas that now I've implemented. But mom did not listen well back then. I knew what I was doing, and she was just a kid, and I wasn't going to listen to her. So it destroyed our relationship for about 4 years. And
Oh, that's too
I
bad.
would I would much rather have had my relationship with my daughter than have built my business with her. But we learned a lot from it, and we're very close now. And it just works better when we don't work together. And I've worked with other nieces and nephews, and my last person that I worked with was my daughter-in-law. She wasn't my daughter-in-law when she come to work for me, but she ended up marrying my son later, and it was a huge disaster, and we still don't speak to this day. So it has made things very difficult for us.
Yeah. And too, with Kathy, it's also the other side of the person. So it's not
Hmm.
necessarily like just family, because I don't know if I would hire my nieces or nephews because of the
Right,
maturity level or
right,
where they're at in their life. It's also like, can the other person, the family member, take the open and honest feedback, right?
right.
Can they
Well, and you
take
have to remember
accountability?
too
Mhm.
that when I was hiring family members, I was just winging it running my business.
Yeah.
Like I never intended for this to be a business. It was extra school clothes money. When I first started my business, I was trying to get out of a very bad marriage that was very abusive. And I had 5 kids that I was taking care of. 2 of them were mine and 3 were my stepkids, and they needed me. And so, I was doing what I had to do to take care of them. And so that's how I started my cleaning business, was just trying to make extra school clothes money for my kids, and never intended for it to turn into a business. So I knew nothing about running a business. And so I didn't hire on my core values and people that I thought would be a good fit for my company. I hired who wanted to work. And if I had a vacation rental to clean this Saturday and my nieces or nephews were looking for work, like, they were the ones who got the job. So, it was from not having structures and not having the right systems in place that made it turn into what it did. But it was also what you said of being on the other side of that with my daughter-in-law, I just feel like the business outgrew her for what her capabilities were, and she couldn't see that. And so
Yeah.
that happens, you know, we outgrow people, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it's okay. There's my new thing right now is there's like seasons to everything.
Right.
Like, Chris was just saying, he's like, oh my gosh, I have so many meetings. I'm like, some of them can be asynchronous. Like you don't need to meet. Like async means, um, asynchronous meetings mean like synchronous is everybody's together on a Zoom or in a conference room. Asynchronous is like, let's schedule a block of time, work on it how you want, let us know when you're done. Ask me if you need questions. Ask me if you have any questions during this time frame because I'm available to answer, but we're not together anywhere,
Right.
even on a Zoom. And so, I told Chris because he's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, not everything is forever. Like there are seasons where sometimes we need more focus, more meetings, less meetings. There's seasons and it's okay for those seasons to change and evolve. And it's like with your daughter, there's seasons to things like but sometimes other people don't see those. And that's what becomes hard in business. It's like we see it, we feel it. The other person on the other side of that may not have the maturity level or even see the fact that this season is over.
Well, and two, like I said on when we were previously talking, is that we're business owners for a reason. Our minds think differently than the average person's. And not saying that we're smarter than other people, but we think differently than other people.
We're not smarter at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, and then I didn't want anyone to think that's what I meant. Like we just think totally different than the people.
I'm just joking because I'm like I have some of the dumbest ideas. Maybe like at 1 out of 99 or 100 are good, and the other 99 just are terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But we think differently than that. So I don't think sometimes that they can look at things from a business aspect and they only see it from their perspective, which is personal. It's personal to them. So that makes it harder.
It does make it harder. Working with family, I come from a family business and I saw a lot of stuff. I saw a lot of great things, but I saw a lot of bad things. Yeah. The family business I came from. And I mean, when family, I mean cousins, aunts, uncles, my parents. Like I worked from the time I was 6 or 7 years old. And I've seen a lot of interesting stuff coming from a family business. That was, how you shouldn't treat people. And that's how some family was treated, or even not family employees. And then I've seen how to do great things at the same time. And so it's really interesting to see, but I learned a lot of lessons as a kid. The working with family. I come
from an entrepreneurial family as well. My dad has owned his own business for all my life. And my mom owned her own business for a long time and then sold that business and works with my dad within his trucking business. And my brother worked for my dad in his trucking business, and that did not end well either, and did not see things eye to eye. So I'm used to it. I've been around it my entire life. My brother now owns his own business, per se. He repairs and sells lawnmowers and lawn service cares to people.
Nice.
So he does that. My dad owns his own trucking company, and my mom works with him every day in the truck, up and down and getting in and out of it. And they're in their late 70s. So yeah. So I love that. From it. I've learned from it.
So then you know what I'm talking about, how it can be great, and then it can be absolutely horrible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It makes holidays a little rough sometimes.
Yes, it can. And I think that it's also because there is an alignment. Like my expectations of, say, my mom coming to work for me were so much higher than they should have been, because she's my mom. She's going to work day and night. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. And to her, this is a job.
Mm-hmm. So that's where I struggled with my daughter. My daughter was, she's my daughter. If somebody didn't clean the grill at 7:00, she's going to drive 2 hours back there to do it because she's my daughter. But to her, it was a job.
Mm-hmm. And so, yes, my mom does go above and beyond sometimes, but not to the extent that we go as the owner. And she's not the owner. She doesn't want to be an owner. She likes her job. She does a great job at it. And I think it's misalignment on both parts. I was guilty of it when I was younger. And then, sometimes the family members guilty of the oh, she's my daughter, she's going to let it slide. Oh, she doesn't care if I take the day off without telling anybody. It's misalignment. Those things happen. And unless you have super clear expectations. And I was just coaching somebody on this inside of CBF because she had family working for her. It epically failed and she was going to hire a friend. And I said, listen, unless you have the kahunas, right, to have a difficult conversation and hold your friend accountable, your friend or family member accountable, and not be scared they're going to be mad at you, you can't hire friends or family.
Well, and as women in general, I think we tend to be people pleasers. And a lot of us can't stand it when somebody's mad at us. And so when it becomes a friend or a family member, it's even more awkward and more weird and more uncomfortable. And so we just
let it slide.
We let it slide. And then the rest of our team is seeing what's okay for her to do it. Well, that's because she's her daughter, or whatever the circumstances might be within your company. So yeah, you have to have that structure, and I just do not have it. Like, I hate when people are mad at me. I don't like it when I think people don't like me. I'm very much people pleaser, trying to get past it. But
I see this all the time with couples working together or family members. They let it, and this actually happens even with regular employees. I'm guilty of it too, and in the past, I've gotten so much better at it, but it's that we keep letting things slide, and I don't feel like it, and I don't want to have a difficult conversation, and I'll do it later. But what happens is, like you said, other people see this happening, but it also builds up inside of us. And we keep letting them do it, and they keep doing it, and they do more of it, and it keeps building up. And so it creates that frustration because there's misalignment, then misalignment leads to frustration, and then frustration leads to anger. And then all of a sudden we explode, or we can't take it no more, or we don't even want to go to our own office. I mean, I've been there.
That's where I was. That's exactly where I was. I went and got a small office in my hometown where I grew up, 15 minutes from my house, because I didn't want to go to my own office. I let someone push me out of my office.
I mean, we've all been there.
Instead of having that difficult conversation that I knew for 4 years I needed to have, because I knew how it was going to end up. And it did, exactly like I thought. But we could be 4 years past it now, and my business could be thriving more now than it is if I would have listened to other people that had coached me on that situation and just made that difficult decision and had that conversation.
Yeah.
Because we do let animosity build up, you know. And that kind of brings me, we do. And it kind of brings me to the topic that you and I were going to talk about today with my employee that's been with me 14 years. Her name is Brittany. She's phenomenal. I've known her since she was a little girl. She joined my company the year after I started it with my daughter. She moved out to Washington for a year, and then she messaged me one day on Facebook and said she was coming home. And I said, you can start to work the week you get back. And she's been with me ever since. But we had a lot of volatile conversations and explosions over the years. As I said, I never intended this to be a business, and I didn't know how to run a business, and I definitely did not know how to manage employees. And so I would let things slide and let them slide. And I expected, because I've known her for so long and considered her to be like my right arm, that she should know what I want. Like, she should do this the way I want it done. And we had a lot of bad conversations to points that we had huge blow-ups, to where I threw my keys on the desk and said, if you think you can run it better than me, it's yours. I'm done. I'm out. And that's the PG version of it, because it was not that easy. I fired her 3 times over the years, and she'll just say, fine, I'll see you tomorrow. And she comes back. It's a joke in our office, but it's true. We had those conversations, and because we let stuff just build up and build up, because we let things slide, and our expectations of what we think they should be doing is in our minds, and we haven't set clear guidelines for them of what they should be doing. We just expect them to do it our way, and they're never going to do it our way, because we're the owner and we do things differently. And we're going to go back and take care of something at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and having that expectation of that person should do the same especially when they have little kids at home, is totally unrealistic. But
Yeah.
in our mind, we can justify why we think they should. Like they're just not a team player because they don't want to do this. That's not the case at all. So her and I learning how to work together, doing the disc test together was a huge eye opener for us, to learn what our styles are. We're both very high DIs, and so we butt heads a lot in the past. We haven't for the last 3 or 4 years now. Um, but I am somebody who, when I think it, I say it, and I have no filter. And she is someone who lets things build up inside until she just explodes. So we drive each other absolutely batty and crazy. She hates all my crazy ideas that I just come in and I'm like, hey, I did a thing. And it's like a huge thing in our office when I say Kathy did a thing, that it's never going to be a good thing, like opening this office location up here. Now I try to be better. And as I've grown as a leader, I've tried to learn how to value their opinion and ask for their opinion, even though it's my company, and at the end of the day, I'm responsible for all of these employees and making sure they have a job, and that's a heavy load to carry some
Yeah.
days, but I still respect their opinion, and I have gotten better the last 3 or 4 years of bouncing things off of them before I just do a thing. It's going to turn into
Yes.
a disaster
And
because they
sleep on
have
it.
different perspectives. Yeah, exactly. And sleep on it.
And sleep on it.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 nights. Because they have a different perspective and a different way of looking at things, and they're looking at things not as a business owner. They're looking at as the person who runs this business every single day, day to day, and the what ifs. What if, whatever the what ifs might be is, well, how are we going to handle this when this comes up? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think about that. I just want to do this. And so to be able to have their perspective has been a huge game changer for us. I feel like we are much farther along and the company has grown, where we hear all the time, like the owner can take it to a certain level, but then after a while, the owner becomes the bottleneck.
Yes.
And you have to step aside and let them take the reins. And that's been probably the hardest part for me, is letting go. This is my baby. I started this from the trunk of my car. So it's like your kids growing up and having to let them go off to college and trust somebody else to help them make decisions, and they're going to do it right. It's the same thing with our business. So letting go for me has been the hardest part. But now the biggest thing I'm struggling with is teaching the two of them how to let go, and to bring the rest of our leadership team up the way I have leveled them up. We need to level them up that are underneath them as well, because now 3 of us are the bottleneck in the business, and it's not going to grow to that next level until we can take us out of it and bring the other 3 people that are on our leadership team and have their ideas and hear what they have to say and take it to that $1.5-2 million level that we just can't seem to get it past 1 million. And I know
love
it's
this
because we're the bottleneck. We are the ones now that are in the way.
because the true sign of a great leader is the ability to create other leaders. Right. And then also in WootRecruit, we just we restructured some things, and so our customer success rep, we added a position under her, and so there's a lead AM now. And so I told her, this is going to be a test for you. Not that I'm testing you, but this is a test to see, can I lead the account managers through someone? Right? Because you have to build up this new lead account manager, because he will be training and leading the AMs, because you don't have enough time anymore. This is going to be a testament to your leadership skills, is, can I lead through a leader? Can I create another leader?
Right. And that's where I'm at with my 2 people.
And it's not easy. It's hard to do that and to let go. And, as you were talking with, letting things build up and the alignment, it's one of those things where it's all a learning process. Getting the, oh, that's what I was going to say. I actually now do a few things to help from Libby making stupid mistakes.
Okay, teach me your ways.
So a few things is, I always sleep on it. I always talk to my husband about it, right? Because then he gives me one perspective. And then I always talk to my leadership team about it. And I don't always take their advice, ever. Not ever, but I'm saying I don't always take their advice. But what I've noticed is that when I say it out loud, when I talk about it out loud, it sounds different. I think about it differently. And so I've gotten to the point to where, I have this kind of framework is because my biggest fear is to make a decision based off of what I want or convenience to me or for me, and it jeopardizes the company.
Right.
And so I've always, I talk through Chris. I ask my leadership team out loud. We say it out loud. I hear them talk through it to tell me certain things, their perspective. And then if I need to, then I ask my peers. Like if I still kind of feel like I have a group of peers that I can go ask and say, hey, I want to do this thing. What do you guys think? I don't necessarily always care what other people think. It's more me saying it out loud to the world. It makes me then process it in a different way and hear it in a different way. Has really been helpful to me. And then getting their perspective from different angles has been great. And then just slowing down. I think that we're so fast at making decisions and moving. I just slow down. Like, and that's probably the biggest thing I learned about 2 years ago with getting really into EOS is patience. It's just slow down.
Yeah. Clarity days for me has been a huge, huge transformation for me.
Yeah. I love that. So, we're at 20 minutes. I got to let Kathy go. We talked about some great things over on the Fearlessness podcast. You guys need to check that out. We talked about seasonal, like how do you transition from a seasonal company to really adding verticals to grow consistently if you're in that seasonal rut and you're kind of frustrated. Kathy Merchant is a vacation rental queen, short-term rental queen over here. So if you're in a seasonal business and you're struggling, whether it's your profits, your finances, how are they supposed to look, down to how do you deliver those services, hiring that many people in a short time, Kathy is your go-to. We'll make sure we put her handles in the comments so that you guys can reach out to Kathy, follow her. But guys, it's time to wrap this up. I want to thank Kathy for being a guest on the WootRecruit YouTube channel. And remember that transforming your recruiting isn't just a myth. It is within reality. For more insights and strategies, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and our newsletter. Until next time, keep pushing those boundaries of what you thought was possible in your recruiting process. Let's make recruiting a superpower in your business.